Hi family, today's video is gonna be about why I am a strong proponent of holistic therapy, right? So there are many different types of therapy that you can have. You have psychiatric therapy, you have cognitive behavioral therapy, you have what's it called, the family systems therapy. There are many different types of therapies that you can have, and both on the allopathic side, so the regular medical side, and the holistic side, or the side that is more so naturally based, might be passed down generation to generation, and it can also be cultural as well. Now, the reason that I'm a strong proponent for holistic therapy is because holistic therapy tends to be very flexible, right? So if you have a therapist who understands your culture and who tends to work in a way that even if you are on psychiatric drugs, so on and so forth, it can still be married well with the holistic therapist, then what that means is that you can get the best of both worlds, right? So I have clients who are on certain types of psychiatric medicine, so on and so forth, and because of the holistic component, they find that that brings a lot of calm to their lives, and it brings more routine into their lives, and also it helps them to feel more in control, right? Behaviorally, in conjunction with the drugs. Okay, so one of the things about having therapy, say for example talk therapy, I find that a lot of people have not been heard in their lives. They probably grew up in a particular situation whereby their voice was not important, and they felt secluded and isolated. And as a result of that, when they become older, one of the ways that could show up is that they can be very introverted. They might not say much. They might appear as though as if they're not interested in what's going on, when really and truly that type of a numbness might just be an expression of an earlier issue, which is that you might feel like your voice is not important. And so I like to coax people to investigate different types of therapy, try them, see what works for you, see what doesn't work for you, so that you can get to a point where you're living a really expressed life, right? So when it comes to choosing a therapist, I think that is very important, because therapy is not just about a qualification. Like, you have to have, there is a certain invisible component to therapy. As the therapist, it is of vital importance that you have the ability to truly listen to your client, and to not just project your stuff onto your client's stuff, because we all have stuff, right? So a lot of times, if somebody has something that is troubling them, it's a deep-seated issue, and it's something that they haven't dealt with before, they might decide, instead of seeking to see if there's some type of self-work that they can do, if there's some type of free online therapy or any online tips on how to handle certain things, somebody might go speak to a friend, right? And in some cases, it does work out well, because you've already had prior history with this person. You might be more comfortable with them, so you feel like, yeah, this is the way for me to go. However, what tends to happen over time is that people's capacity can either increase or decrease depending on their situation. And so you might speak to somebody in your life, your personal life, one time about something, and they had a really great, helpful reaction to whatever you told them. But the second time you tell them, they did not meet you with that same fervor as the first time. When you go into therapy, you don't have to deal with that, because the therapist's job is to create space for you and to hold that space for you. Whereas in your personal life, in your friendships, so on and so forth, that might be too much to ask, because people have their own stuff that they go through, right? The other thing is that, and I would say this is a cautionary tale. Sometimes you might want to discuss a familial issue, and it might be with somebody else in your family, and you might feel like, well, they know what it is I want to talk about, so I want to talk to them because we have an understanding, we're here. And what tends to happen is that, so say you have an issue with a parent. So say you have an issue with your father or your mother, and you go to somebody in your family and you start talking to them about that issue. Now in your mind, what you're expecting is that they're just going to listen to you, understand that it's coming from your perspective, understand that this is not a view that you're going to hold all your life. This is just how you're seeing things right now. And you just want them to listen to you, not take anything personally, and just say, oh, well, thank you for sharing. In your mind, that's what happens. But in reality, what tends to happen, as soon as you start expressing something about somebody that you're related to say somebody else that you're related to, or somebody in your community, the first thing they hit you with, you can't say that, it's your brother. You can't say that, it's your sister. You can't say that, it's your cousin. That's not right, it's your mother. You shouldn't say that, it's your father, after all, at the end of the day. Without realizing that while that statement is indeed factually correct, that is your relative through whatever blood relation, it does not negate how you feel. And so when they make that statement, you can't say that, so on and so forth, what that tends to do is then shut down the person that is experiencing whatever they're experiencing. Again, your therapist is trained to not do that. And also, one of the things that you can add in when you're seeking a therapist is you can seek somebody that understands your culture or is of your culture, but they're still therapy based, because what that will do is that they will be able to create a quicker rapport with you. You'll be able to build trust with them quicker, because you wouldn't have that suspicion of it being a quote-unquote outsider. You understand? There's nothing worse than you trying to express some pain that you've experienced that has really hurt you, and then somebody shuts you down with, you shouldn't feel like that because it's your this. What that does is that it can re-traumatize you. Okay? It can lead to you now experiencing the pain the first time, but now the second time around you feel like your experience is invalidated, so you shouldn't share it. And no one deserves to feel like that. So I implore you to seek out different types of therapy, seek out different forms of dealing with your issues, so that you can really get to the point where you recognize that, from the ages of 0 till whenever you decide to move out the house, you are under the authority of someone else. But once you leave, this is your chance to create freedom. This is your chance to create life as you know it. It's your chance to create life, a life that serves you well. But for a lot of people, because they're so enthralled in their own traumas and they have never ever sat down and dealt with them in a safe space, they tend to just recreate traumatic experience after traumatic experience until they die. They never realize that adulthood comes with a lot of responsibility, but it's also a bid for freedom. It gives you the opportunity to create a different experience for yourself. And if you don't deal with your stuff, deal with your traumas, deal with the things that are affecting you, you'll never get to that point of realization that, wait a minute, yes, I've experienced all these things. I'm going to parcel it up and deal with it in a safe space so that I can really throw myself into creating the life that I desire. That's, in my view, supposed to be the way that you come at life. Life is, is full of challenges, but also there are a lot of rewards. There are a lot of joyous moments. But when you are bogged down by trauma, you tend to miss all of those things by either because you're numb, you're resentful, you're bitter, so on and so forth. So, family, I just really want to encourage you to check out different types of holistic therapies that can complement any allopathic treatments that you're already dealing with, right? That would be a form of integrative medicine. You could deal with your holistic therapies and deal with your doctors, right? But it's about rounding you off so that all of you begins to get served, so that the things that you speak of to no one else, you can confide in someone and get perspective on exactly what it is that you're dealing with. Because your job really is to be here and be fully expressed and fully actualized in this experience. Okay, so please do yourself a favor, get a therapist. I have a therapist and I am a therapist. And you know, a lot of things that a lot of people they don't understand about me, my therapist gets it just like that. You understand? So it would be nice if you were able to have that type of confidant in your personal life, be it your friend, your family, whatever. But it is also wonderful to have somebody whose sole job is to help you comb through the stuff. All right, family. Have a good day. I hope this video has been of value to you, and I'll see you again soon.